It's Manchu. Welcome back to Divergence SMP. I just want to do a flyby here of CP Technocraft's base because it's coming along nicely, looks very impressive, but he also has built this gold farm, which is very cool. It's going to produce lots of gold and be available for experience for everybody. Very helpful. But it's probably going to produce so much gold that nobody will know what to do with it. And in fact, I've accumulated quite a bit of gold even without using that gold farm yet, as you can see. And it's not all that terribly useful. I want to change that today by building a system that will automatically barter away all that gold to a piglin to give you all of the things you can get by bartering with piglins, which is quite a lot. I think there's like 17 different things that they could give. A lot of that's very useful stuff. But since piglins can only exist in the nether, I have to build this setup in the nether. And I've already gotten a start on it. I've started to prepare the area for the farm here, as you can see. This is a 24 block by 32 block area. And everything here is lower slabs or stairs, so it's all spawn proofed. But I need the ceiling to be higher. I need more space above. It's plenty of space horizontally, but I need more vertical space. I'm only going to need one piglin for this, and I happen to have one here set aside for the time. As I was preparing this area, I aggroed a couple piglins and decided to capture this one and save him. He needs to be persistent so that he won't despawn, and one way would be to give him a name with a name tag, but I didn't even need to bother with that. I just threw a pair of gold boots at him, which he picked up and put on. And since he's wearing armor that he picked up off the ground, he will be persistent. But as I say, I need more space vertically, so I'm going to have to dig out above this a bit before I get to work on the actual setup. Okay, I think that's enough height. Barely, but I think it's enough. But I've used up all my fire resistance potions and worn my pick down to a nub again, so maybe I'll go get it repaired and then come back and get started on the bartering system. Piglin bartering can produce... well, they can trade you 17 different things, I believe. 13 of those are stackable, which means I can sort them into separate chests. And the sorting system is... well, it's going to require a lot of hoppers. I estimate needing up to 200 hoppers for the system. It's lucky I got my iron farm working before I started with this. So the things that I can't sort: potions of fire resistance, water bottles, enchanting books of soul speed, iron boots of soul speed, they're going to go into these chests here. I'm going to have 2 hopper chains coming from these two. They're going to be feeding items through the filters. So that means I have 2 sets of filters here feeding items through to help speed things up. Even so, this thing is going to be so fast in the bartering. I'm going to drop so many items so quickly. It's easy for this to get backed up. It's just not going to be capable of sorting the items fast enough. But I have a workaround for that. So on this side, I'm going to have items dropping in. It's hard to visualize it at this stage, but I'll have items getting dropped into these hoppers, which are going to go into this chest, and from that chest into this hopper line where all the filters are. Now to set up all the filters. This filter system looks a little different from what I've used in the past. Again, row of hoppers here. This hopper chain is feeding items one at a time past these hoppers, which are going to contain whatever item I want to filter out, and then 4 like sticks that are labeled with something. I'll get to that in a minute. The comparator here outputs a signal based on how full this is. Once it's full enough, to put a redstone signal strength of 3, it will have the redstone go across and power this block, and then that redstone torch turns off and the repeater turns off. I have glass here so that this redstone torch doesn't actually power this glass block. It won't power the glass block. So this redstone here isn't getting powered by the redstone torch. That would kind of create a feedback. So I have to have glass there. And then under these hoppers, I need to put the hoppers that feed into the chest. Now I just duplicate this whole mechanism on the other side. This is wrong. I need to scrap these because it won't work like that. And then just put hoppers like this. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double chests for each item type. Perfect. Okay, that's how I do it. It's going to be fire charges, leather, obsidian, ender pearls, wait. String, iron ingot, iron nuggets, leather brick, stone, quartz, soul sand, gravel. I think I lost track. This should be arrows. This should be obsidian. That should be gravel. Yeah, that's right. Back to this end. Fire charge. Leather. Crying obsidian. Ender pearls. String. Nuggets. Nether brick. Blackstone. Nether quartz. Wait. Soul sand. Gravel. Obsidian. Arrows. Okay. Now, one more thing I need to do to make sure that the sorting system is 100% reliable, even if it's going to mean that it's not going to be as fast. Put a comparator here. redstone dust here. I've demonstrated this before. Whenever there's an item in this hopper, the comparator puts out a signal which powers this block, powers this redstone dust, powers this block, and locks this hopper. So this hopper locks whenever there's an item in this hopper, which means it slows down the rate at which items pass through this hopper chain, and it makes these filters work reliably. They don't miss anything. It will be a little bit slower. It's not half speed, but it's a little bit slower this way. You also might notice that I have a hopper gap here between this system and the first filter. I found that some of these filters overflowed, and I think it might have been because I had unstackable items going through this hopper chain, and it caused this redstone block to put out a bigger signal to this block, and that caused the power to transfer over to the filter and overflow the first filter, so that it emptied out, basically, and it broke the system. That's why I have it separated by a block now. It's not stacked side by side with it. That's going to pick up the items that the piglin drops and distribute them between those two chests. In the past, when I've made this sorting system, I put the piglin on top of that block, but that's not what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to put another rail on top of that, a dispenser there. What I'm gonna do is make a bunch of mine carts, make them into hopper mine carts with hoppers. And I'm gonna stuff them into this chest, which loads into the dispenser. So that's 54 in that chest, plus 5 in there is 59, plus 9 in here is 65. This used to be 67. I think that'll be enough. I use this switch, and it throws out a hopper minecart on there. And then I do it again, and it puts another one. And again, and it's just dumping a lot of hopper minecarts onto that spot. And I'm gonna empty the chest and dispenser into there, so there'll be, what do I say, like 67 hopper minecarts in there. This will give me a whole huge amount of buffer storage that will very quickly scoop up everything that the piglin drops during bartering. Because there's no way the sorting system would be fast enough to sort through things as quickly as the piglin can drop them. But this many hopper minecarts will give me enough capacity to hold as much as the piglin can barter if I have a double chest full of gold ingots. And nothing will build up on top of this block waiting to get pulled into the filter system. other dispenser here. And then I need to get the piglin into there. Hopefully I can pull this off. Your moment has come, my friend. You'll lift him up. He's up. He's in the scaffolding. Is it high enough? Not yet. I can't jump much higher. I think that's high enough. There, that's definitely high enough. You're not upset about anything, are you? He is upset about something. What are you upset about? He's definitely not upset at me. Temporarily. About here, drag you over. See if I can carefully maneuver the boat. Like so. Nope. Alright, break the boat. Here. A little distraction for you. And he's in the hole. Perfect. I think everything's set. What this contraption will do, this is a clock. Turn this lever off. Clock activates. Every time that piston moves that gilded blackstone, it causes the piglin to complete its trade immediately. You can see how fast it's completing transactions, but because I have 67 hopper minecarts directly beneath him, it's able to accumulate all the stuff he's dropping and nothing builds up on that block there. The sorting system, on the other hand, well, it's going to take some time to finish sorting through everything. But eventually, all the unstackable items end up here, and all the other items end up in here, and there's nothing in here yet. We'll see when he gets through all those gold ingots how full these chests get. And while this is going on, I need to finish the roof and clean this place up so that it's easier to access this guy other than by scaffolding. It's a little loud here. I finished up my bartering setup and used up all my gold, so I'm here at Secret Technocraft's gold farm, getting more gold. I think I will turn it off. Also got a lot of levels in the process. Hopefully that's the last of them. I was hoping all that stuff would end up going into the hoppers. I haven't actually checked this site out before. Let's go have a look around a little bit. This must be where he makes the kelp blocks. Oh, that's not kelp blocks. Yeah, that's where he makes the kelp blocks for fuel to cook up all the golden swords. Still a lot of items flowing out of there. Looks like it finally finished. Oh, it didn't take me more than, I don't know, half an hour to get that much gold. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't very long. I think I'll take away some of this rotten flesh too. Do him a favor. Oh my god, he has a lot of rotten flesh. Well, I took some off his hands. I'm not taking all of that. I think we need some clerics to drop that stuff off with. Anyway. I'm gonna head back to his portal because it's not far from there to where my bartering setup is. Just a short distance up the stairs to my portal. There should be a sign here so it's easy to see. Yep, right here. Gold sold here, and you can see what I've done with this place. I put a big sign over here, but it's kind of blocked by the stairs. Just head up here. Dump gold in this chest. Switch the lever, and the bartering commences. And from the gold that I've already put in there, you see what I've got here. Not a lot of obsidian. A decent amount of gravel and soul sand. I've already collected some of that because I'm going to use that for another project. And quartz. Blackstone. Lots of stuff that could be useful materials. There's not much string in here because I already collected a bunch of string to use for another project. I'll take some ender pearls. Crying obsidian? It's not useful for much except for decorations. Leather, that's great because you know what? I don't keep cows. I don't have a source of leather normally. Except by bartering. And fire chargers, which I have no idea what are useful for, but there's a few of those. Oh yeah. And then there's the miscellaneous. Lots of that stuff. In fact, I might have to empty these chests soon. Various books of soul speed. I think if it's not soul speed 3, I'll probably just disenchant the book and keep the book. A bunch of water bottles. A bunch of fire resistance potions. And a bunch of boots, which probably just smelt those down for more iron nuggets. But this is great. And the main thing I wanted it for, like, I had to get it right away so I could get some string for my next project. You should be able to find links in the description below to CP Technocraft's YouTube channel where he does live streams. And he's had some live streams where he's shown off his gold farm and how he built it and how it all works. As well as all the other content creators on Divergence SMP. I have, of course, made a bartering setup like this for Java Edition too, and you can see it in this video. Otherwise, watch for what I have in mind for all that string for my next project on Amon Chooses Divergence SMP.